Good morning, YouTube. What's going on, Mike? How we doing this morning? Well, back to the grind, back to the grind. Checking my analytics. I stopped doing what normally made my channel grow, and I'm kind of paying for it. But I was like, I'm saying, but I could do it. I can get it. And now I had to get back to start doing what made my channel grow. Um, and it was my shorts and adding music to trucks passing by me. And so I don't want to do that anymore. It's stupid. And guess what? That's stupid because in my description of my channel, newly married truck driver learning to live, love. How hard can it be? Forget the rest of it. But that is the beginning of my instructions. And I don't feel like doing it. Like a little kid. I don't feel like doing it, mommy. And I was checking my analytics. Everything down, arrows down, everything down. I said, well, got to keep. Look, truck pass right now. Hey, throw some music on there. I'm gonna have to throw some music on there. Oh boy, you know. How's your weekend? How's the weather up there? I did see my other moderator sends me videos that I post. He was in the north and he was in the way in the west up there in Washington, going through snow and whatnot. Look, I'm so happy I ain't with it and ain't in it. But it's a blessing because this I don't know. I said how I got into this, but boy, it's an experience. It's an experience. Hey, good morning, Jace. How you doing? It's an experience, and I just I laugh. I laugh, and because like this morning, you know, like you guys, when you drive a car, you engage it. You press the thing, you put it from park to drive, and you go. Well, in a truck, it's the same thing, but now these newfangled trucks has um, different stuff in it. And I'm going crazy trying to figure out what in Sam Hill did I do wrong? Because okay, I'll give an example. When I engage my brakes, I have to push in two buttons: a button for the truck, button for the tractor. To engage my brakes, to turn them off, and I can go. And then I put it in drive because this is an automatic. Used to be stick shift. It still is, but it's actuated by air. I know it's stupid, but and normally if my driver's side door isn't closed all the way, it will go crazy. Bam, 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 bam. And then you got people sleeping around there. It's embarrassing, and I do it all the time. Well, I went to start out like I'm doing. I went to start out like I'm doing. And a red light came across the dashboard. It said brakes engaged. Bam, bam, bam. It wasn't the normal bam, bam from the driver's side. And I'm cutting the truck off, hoping it reset, pushing the brakes in, pushing them out, hoping it resets. I'm going, what's wrong with this stupid truck? So after 15 minutes, it dawned on me that my passenger side door wasn't closed all the way. So one, I slept all night like that. Some crazy guy could have came in and stabbed me in the neck. And two, I should have knew better. But they don't give you a course they just give you the keys. And on these new trucks, they don't tell you, oh, here's this and this does that and yada yada yada. So I felt like the old Tom and Jerry cartoon where you look at Tom and the donkey, his cat head turns into a donkey head. So That's where I'm at right now in the scheme of things. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. Y'all say a prayer for me because I gotta watch one. I gotta watch what I say just in case my wife, chimes in. But again, this stuff that I talk about is actually a self healing thing, a self healing situation, and it actually is very, very helpful for me. Um, I'm going to give y'all a backstory so you can understand where I'm coming from and how I figured this out. Because normally you're supposed to figure this stuff out by someone that is a licensed therapist, a psychologist, and or psychiatrist, which I'm none of them. Okay, so let's already get that there. But um, it's funny. It's not funny, haha. But in the situation what went on when I was a teenager, I grew up in a very violent household. My mother and father were fighting all the time. My father was going through a midlife crisis. He was cheating on my mother. He had a child by another woman. It was a hot mess, and they fought all the time. And my mother would confide in me all the time. A teenager doesn't need to be hearing this mess. My mother would confide in me all the time. I would see so much violence, but I loved my father to death, and I watched so much. And I find out later that all of this stuff that I went through, it manifested what's called I became, and it manifested because of the situation. They said this is what happens in one of the situations, guys. Because I took this, mental test, and it said that, dude, why you high beaming me? It said that I was an emotional empath. I talk about it all the time. People don't believe it to this day. My wife doesn't believe it, and I have to give her reasons that stuff that sets me off, and I explain the situation and what happens. My heart starts racing, the anxiety, the whole 9 yards. And in this day and age, I've actually installed and put in place some healthy boundaries. Some, and I say I'm not experienced at this. And if y'all want to just actually, but it manifested in my teenage years, and I couldn't control it. I always wondered why was it happening to me. I was, very emotional, and I became a heavy drinker. Now I realize, because I got enough time to think about it. I became a heavy drinker, and I did that to really numb my feelings, because no one was telling me or teaching me how to control my feelings. And as men, we're taught to drown them out and shove them as far down. Don't be a bitch ninja. Don't do all this. And I watched all the abuse that my mother took, and I eventually snapped. I eventually snapped, but I'm giving y'all this backstory for a reason. I met a woman, a young lady, and I got married for the wrong reasons. And I swore again. I told this story too. I swore again that I would, make it work. Where it was destined to fail from day one. The only blessing I have out of it is my son. But it was destined to fail from day one because it was the wrong reasons, and I held on for the wrong reason. I took all that. I literally married a narcissist. I literally married a narcissist. And what was said about empaths is we attract narcissists like sharks, like blood in the water attracts sharks. I could tell you horrific stories. Our last 4 or 5 years was a sexless marriage, and I stayed faithful. Ain't that surprising? Um, but somewhere along the path in that marriage, I was married for a long time. I think like 21 years or something like that. I built up a wall and didn't realize I built up a wall. I built up an emotional wall. I was cold as ice. I was cold hearted, but I tried. Built up a wall. And I finally couldn't take it no more. It was one of the reasons why I became a truck driver. I said, I'm going to get in this truck. I'm going to get in this truck. I'm going to learn how to drive this truck. And, stupid behind me. Yeah, I'm stupid. I should have said I wanted a divorce, but I had nowhere to go. I had nothing. And I said, I'm going to get in this truck and I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back. And that's what I did. I learned how to drive a truck and I got in that and I never came back. And, after a while, I finally realized that I was being used. It took a while. I'm embarrassed to even say it till this day. I was being used. That person didn't care about me, never did, never was. And I finally grew a pair and I demanded a divorce. That person knew they were screwed. They knew what they were doing to me was wrong. Even in the even during the proceedings in front of the judge, we both stood there, wouldn't look me in the face, always looking in the ground. Wouldn't look me in the face. I remember that. But in that situation, I met someone. I know they kind of contacted me. And I met someone and I fell for I fell for the okie doke. I fell for the sham. You know why? Because of 5 years, and this just dawned on me right now. 5 years of no affection, no physical affection, no emotional affection, no support, no nothing. I was prime. I was prime pickings for more abuse. I was prime pickings for more pain and suffering, and I didn't even know it. I, I'm trying not to cry now because I thought I forgot it and I didn't, but I remembered all this. And here's the funny thing: I didn't realize, and I forgot. I forgot right in that in those times that I was a very emotional man, young man. I didn't realize that I was a. I didn't realize that I had built this barrier up, and I listened to all the lies that this person threw out at me, and that barrier that my subconscious built to protect me came crumbling down. Now, okay, 'cause we're gonna get a little deep here. It came crumbling down. Now, what was the conversation that I was talking about today? Well, it's called it's called soul ties. I never, I was like Jesus. Every time I bring up another subject, like Jesus, I'm a hot mess. I got all kind of mess going. But guess what? I'm on a healing adventure. I'm on the right path. I'm moving right, and I thank God for His blessings in my life. But during this time, I met someone, and I didn't realize. We're gonna tell it right now. And for all you old folks that you don't know, I realized later on I was a jump off. Didn't even know it. Didn't even realize I was a jump off. And that even hurt knowing that that's what I was. But I let my conscious guard down, and my subconscious let its guard down, and allowed me those feelings that I had locked up behind closed doors that I had no control over. I had no control over. Went flying everywhere. Went flying everywhere. All right. Now that I've given you guys the backstory, let's talk about the main story. All right. We're talking about it's called soul ties. There's so many different types, but I'm gonna tell you what happened to me. And I'm gonna read off two definitions. An intense, deep spiritual connection shed between two people. That's the first definition. A deep soul connection established between two people. That's the second one. Now, soul ties can happen in different ways. Uh, you could actually meet, uh, a soulmate is it falls into a part. It falls into a soul tie, and I'm sorry, guys. I'm having a hard time trying to get my point across. Uh, when you meet someone, when you meet someone, let's see if I can find that. All right. It says this intense connection transcends your physical body, and you feel deeply connected in your soul. Common soul ties actually happen during sex. You you kind of your body lets go of certain types of hormones. And guys, I'm not a psychologist, a clinical whatever. And I don't know what I'm talking about, but I know what happened to me. Your body lets off serotonin. Your body produces serotonin, and let me see what the other name of this stuff is. Okay, if I can find it. Can't find the other one. It's serotonin, and it's like a. Nah, I ain't gonna be able to find it. Oh, your body gives off when you meet someone that you're attracted to. Your body gives off dopamine and serotonin, which produces oxytocin. Don't hold me to this. It's often referred to as the happy hormones. When you're attracted to another person, your brain releases dopamine and serotonin. Their levels increase, and oxytocin is produced. This causes you to feel a surge of positive emotions. What does oxytocin do? In the brain, oxytocin acts as a chemical messenger. Its important role in human behavior as sexual arousal, trust, recognition, romantic attachments, and mother and infant in infant bonding. It's like a form of freaking crack that you don't know it's secreted. And most people that have strong abilities, strong will, you can sit here and you're listening, yeah, yep, nah, he don't know what he's talking about, you're laughing, ha ha ha. But you gotta realize that in a weakened state, in a weakened state, and no with no affection, no nothing, I formed a soul tie to this person. and it was one-sided. It wasn't reciprocal. I formed a soul tie to this one person. The sad part about soul ties, they are good, and they have good aspects, and then they have horrific complications if it's only one-sided. It's horrific complications if it only happens to one person in that situation. This person knew they were using me. This person knew that I was not a long-term fix for their problem. This person knew that I was just going to be used and abused, chewed up and spit out. But I was so enamored. I was so whatever that I engaged and was stuck in a soul tie where my soul was stuck to this person because of all those drugs that I was saying, mental attachment, physical attachment, the whole 9 yards. And I sat there. I remember I was a co-driver, and I sat there and I would take such mental abuse from that person, on and off again, on and off again, on and off again. But I could not release myself from the situation. And you know why? Now I know why. Why was it so hard? Because it was like an addict getting released off of morphine. It was like an addict getting released off of heroin. It was like an addict getting removed from from smoking crack. You try to get away, but you kept on coming back because they don't want to hurt me. They don't want to abuse me. They love me. Y'all ever have and a lot of times it shows with women, guys don't say it, but I was going through the situation and I would cry in the midnight hour, wondering what the F is wrong with me. But what turned out to be wrong was one, my normal, from my first marriage, my normal wall was broken down, so I had no protection against my emotions. And then I engaged in what I was trying to explain as a soul tie. My soul was wrapped around this evil ass person. And every time I left, I felt empty. Every time I left, I felt unfulfilled. I felt miserable, like I was going through withdrawal. Why? Because none of those hormones were being produced anymore. They were even being produced when I was being mentally abused. And that's why normally when y'all see, a woman that's being abused, oh, he loves me, he don't mean it, he don't want to hurt me, he don't want to do it. That's why I can understand when, she's going to go back to him. That's why I understand. My mother went back to my father. My father was very abusive. He probably had a soul tie. And see, what I was saying is, and people don't want to understand, but these things are real. It's not diagnosed. It's just there. And I want to apologize. If my wife even listens to this thing, sometimes I know she does. That's why, and one of the reasons why I don't get really drunk is because you guys think that everybody, alcohol is a truth serum. No, just your inhibitions and your common sense and your right and wrong. A lot of times when you black out or out the door, you know it's wrong to hurt someone that you love. You know it's wrong to say certain things. You know it's wrong. And she just thought it was right to ask me certain questions that I had no control over choosing the right way to answer them, not knowing that I'm still going through and still healing from past pain, still healing from past suffering, still trying to figure out the right road to walk. See, a lot of times we as men, we're not given the chance to walk the right passage. We're not given the chance, especially African American. We're told that we ain't shit, we ain't gonna be shit, we're a piece of shit, we smell like shit, and we'll never find peace or happiness. But see, when I realized that I was in a soul tie, one of the things I started to do was pray. A lot of times when you pray, my brothers, my sisters, you be wanting it to be miraculous, like Lord Jesus, send your lightning bolt down and heal this problem. No, it takes a while. It it took a while, and I removed myself from the situation, and it was horrific. It was painful, and I even learned from it. You can even learn from a negative soul tie. And I learned that I would never let someone have that much control over me ever again. Never. I repeat. I see someone else just came in. Morning, welcome in. But in that aspect of the situation, and I just told you about a bad soul tie. And see, a lot of times we wonder, well, why some men won't get right. Maybe, and I'm not making excuses, maybe they're spreading their soul so thin. Maybe you're not whole because you're engaging in all of this promiscuous situations and you don't realize you're leaving a part of yourself. And I'm not saying they're the baby mama drama, no, but you're spiritually detaching yourself from each and every person. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying it's just a thought. It always kind of bothers me up there, and it could be the same thing with a woman. Why can't a woman get right? Maybe she's spreading her soul so thin. Why do y'all think that God, and the church is saying, look, get married first, because that part of the situation is so intense. You could want, because think about it. Think about it. When the Bible says you shall leave your mother and father and cleave unto his one. Do you think, really, guys? Do you guys think that that's just a saying? Do you really think that's just a saying? You're one. Maybe, just maybe, when you join and you won't know, and I didn't even realize it because I was so afraid of soul ties. I didn't realize that, and I'm so slow. I'm so slow that I didn't realize that I'm in another soul tie with my wife. I didn't realize it. What is a positive thing about being in a soul tie? A lot of times when your souls are tied, it becomes a new learning experience. You, I tell y'all this all the time. This woman makes me a better man, and it's nothing. She don't nag me. She don't do nothing, nothing like that. But I look at her and I smile. When I call her, I giggle. And that's after 8 years. We're going on 9 years in March, I believe, March or April. We're going on 9 years. When your souls are tied, it's an intense feeling. And and it dawned on me the other day because, I've said it before, and she said it. When I called, I said, "Hey, babe." He said, "What you doing?" Nothing. I said, and I said, I was just thinking about you." She said, "That's funny. I was thinking about you too." Isn't that crazy? Think about it. Out the blue, I'm just driving down the road, listening to YouTube, do do do. Hey, I need to call my wife. Do you see what I'm saying? And see, in that aspect, in that aspect, that's the soul tie can be a wonderful situation, but you have to have your boundaries. Proper boundaries, because the negative soul ties, you're very possessive, you're very jealous, um, a lot of anxiety. You feel crazy when you're not around them. That's what happened in my first soul type. Now I'm good. Hey babe, I was just calling to say good night, morning, good day, whatever. We talk every day. We engage every day. Oh, okay, I gotta go. I'm about to go to bed. I don't want to talk some more. Well, no, baby, I gotta go to bed. You want me to stay alive, right? And we laugh. Before in the other one, I would keep them up all night. Why don't you want to talk to me? What you don't love me? You don't want to be with me? See, we need men and women. We need. They should be teaching this in school. They really should. How to engage in certain ways to control certain aspects of our lives and whatnot. And I remember, when I got divorced, and I gotta find myself. I was like, I'll bump that. I ain't finding myself. But I literally had to find myself. But God put the right person in my path, so I could find myself, so I could tie my soul to the right individual that in in a sense has my best interest, and I hers. Do you see what I'm saying? We have each other's best interests at heart, and not for no other reason, but for it's so intense. Like a positive soul tie will actually, when you're with that person, you're actually energized. When you're with that person and you're in a positive soul tie, you're actually energized. When you're in a bad one, you're depleted. Isn't that crazy? Normally I can't wait to get back on the boat. I'm sitting there laughing, but after Thanksgiving, I was literally holding back the tears. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go, and I was actually more happy that I was sad that I had to go back to work. You know what I mean? And you guys said, "Well, why don't you stay home?" Well, look, economy's bad. We got to survive. This is what pays the bills. You see what I'm saying? This is what pays the bills. Our spirituality, even if you don't go to church, See, I forgot what Bible verse that is, but there's a verse that it's you go to church on Sundays to be re-energized, but the intenseness of a soul tie, a positive soul tie, energizes you when you're back together with each other, and that energy is actually increased, and you feel a positive soul tie. You feel a feeling of contentment when you know they're around. Like right now, when I'm home, I just sit out in the yard at the driveway. She knows I'll sit out there in the cold. But I find my peace out there. I get my thoughts gathered, then I come in, hey babe, what you doing? Blah blah blah. But the fact is, I know the other part of my soul is close by, and that radiation of that positive energy keeps me going. You guys, you see what I'm saying? And see, we talk about love, but I'm talking about a spiritual connection that's so deep that when you're in a positive soul tie, we we adults, it's early in the morning, so I can say it. We don't look to be the wham bam thank. I don't look to be the wham bam thank you, ma'am. But that encounter when you touch each other, there's certain parts of I was reading on it. There's certain parts of the touch that produces that the oxycodone and oxytocin or whatever the heck it's called. When you touch people certain areas, and you like it's so funny. For years, when I come home, she's always got to have a hug. She comes out to me, gives me a hug, and I was like, babe, I stink. I don't give a crap. I need my hug. And then one time she didn't give it to me. I was like, hey, what the heck? Where's my hug? When I didn't get it, when I didn't receive it, it physically hurt. And I'm like, uh-uh. When you have a positive soul tie, you're very encouraged about becoming the person that you know God has meant you to be. I should have became that person years ago, but the Lord hit the pause button. He's like, you ain't ready for it. You see what I'm saying? There is an intense feeling. I remember my first marriage. I would lay in the bed and I would just reach over and touch my first wife. I would just touch her, and she would say, "Get off me." And one of the things I told Norma before we got together, and I said, "I apologize. A lot of times I'll touch you in the middle of the night because I just want to know you're there." And I still do it to this day because a lot of times, 300 and, 300, 300 days out the year or 330 days out the year, I'm sleeping alone. But when I'm home, I'll wake up 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. She'll be snuggled up beside me. I'll reach over and touch her, and she'll get closer. And all I'll do is be happy. Good morning. I see someone else just came in. How y'all doing? Hey, Oldham. Hey, AFR. Um, you see, the thing is, we should have. I don't know if that's even possible. We should have like forums and stuff to talk about stuff like this. The stuff like this, because guess what? You don't realize what. Hey, girl, why you keep on going back to him, and why you keep on going back to him? They might be that person might be in a negative soul tie, and that soul is attached to them. And breaking soul ties is I can't give you the I can't give you the I can't give you the right answer. I'm just happy that mine was broken, and it took a while, but I'm happy that I have a new one, and I need to acknowledge that. I need to understand it. Um, the thing about driving an 18 wheeler, you have more than enough time to think about stuff. You have more than enough time to be thankful about stuff. You have more than enough time to figure stuff out. Because guys, I I slowed down going on other people's lives. Not for anything, but for this. I don't want to remove the fun out of it. You know, like, hey, how you doing, blah blah. But people don't want to have the hard conversations of the fact that men, we're not taught about things like this. We're not taught about having a deeper connection because the word love don't mean squat without action. A deeper connection with someone, you should be looking for a deeper connection with that person you want to be with. But see, it's hard. Why is it so hard? Because people are selfish now. They want to hurt you. They want the person closest to you can draw. It's like Rambo, draw first blood. They know how to hurt you, and a lot of people are with you because for other nefarious reasons, nefarious or whatever the heck. But y'all know what I'm talking about. But I always wondered why, when even like I'm driving right now, and my wife, my partner, my lover, my friend, my confidant, I I laugh and I giggle when I think about her. It's because I have a positive soul. My soul is tied to this woman, and it's on such a deep level. And I just want to always make her happy. And like I said, when I talk about me being an emotional empath, when people bad things happen to her, I have to sit there and listen, and it hurts me to my bone. I mean, it physically hurts me when she has to tell me. She tells me her daily. I couldn't. I would pull every bit of receding hairline out of my head doing her job. But I let my yeah, I squash the emotions. I let the situation go through, and I listen to every word she says until I can't take it. I'm like, hey, babe, can we talk about something else? That's a healthy boundaries because remember I told you the empath part of it. I start taking it personal. She said, "Well, I'm not talking about you." I said, "Babe, I try to explain this to you. It still feels that way. Even when she's mad at someone else, I feel like she's mad at me." And I'm like, "Whoa, hold up, honey, hold. Slow your tone. Let's talk about it. Blah blah blah." And see, this is we need to have conversations and forums that we have a whole bunch of people that are willing. See, because I was listening to there was a forum with a whole bunch of women. They were talking dirty as hell, but they were saying that most men are closed minded and so forth so on. But it was about sexual things. But guess what? We're also closed minded when it comes to controlling your emotions. There's a guy on YouTube. He says, being emotionally mature, I would kill. I would give my left testicle to find that level of emotional maturity. I'll probably be dead by the time I finally achieve it. But that's what I'm looking for. Yes, guys, I'm all going off the deep end on another thing. But the fact is, we need to come together and have a forum where it isn't looked at. Because most women, let's be honest. If I tell you I'm connected to you on such a deep level that I feel certain things, that tears roll up in my, you say, this bitch, this mother effing bitch. But guess what? I dare you say it to my face. Because you thinking bitch, but I knock you the F out. Because guess what? Again, I'm not emotionally mature, and I'm not saying that I'm a child, but my empath part of me, it's multiplied tenfold. So guess what? Yeah, I can be sad and teary eyed, but I can also draw on anger too. That anger is multiplied tenfold. It's crazy. So that's why a lot of times, if I go up online and I feel my anger about to rise up, I'm like, oh, hey, bro, I'm out, deuces. But I've learned to find that median ground because guess what? I'm in a positive soul tie. I'm tied to this person. We're tied at the hip. We're tied at the hip. And guess what? A positive soul tie. It energizes you. It makes you happy. It keeps you on a, but it doesn't define you. That's what a negative soul tie will do. You're defined by the person that you're with. And I spent 20 years being that. I'm defined by who I am now. And a part of me is the woman that I'm with. That's why when y'all say, I ain't no man running me, blah, blah, blah. It is just the honor of saying I will bend the knee to you because guess what? We're one being. When my wife bends the knee to me, guess what I turn to? I bend the knee to her. What do you mean by that? I said bend the knee. Y'all must not watch Game of Thrones. I bow down to her because guess what? And she let me know. She said, you be hearing all these people say king and queens. She said, hey, mother effer, I only have one king in my life, and it's you. And you have only one queen. Don't you ever forget it. So all these people that are king and queen, that she said, I don't want to hear that bull shit. You belong to me, and I belong to you. And when she said, I said, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And y'all could call me a simp, wimp, or whatever. I said, yes, ma'am. Because it's just like the Bible says, my rib has spoken. I belong to you and you belong to me. You only have one king in your life. I only have one king in my life, and that's you. And I am your queen. And don't you ever forget it. Yes, ma'am. See, when you are in a happy, see this I think it's Jake. That man been married for God knows how long. When you in a happy situation, when you in that situation for so long, he tells the story all the time. We met, we saw, we got together, we met. I'm giving the short version, Jakes. That brings out. See, see, it's so funny. Y'all will laugh, and a lot of people don't believe this. I remember, I remember the day I met my wife. I didn't know she was gonna be my wife, but I cried out to God. I said, God, I've had it. I've had it. I've had it with these online datings, and I've had it. I give up. I give. I literally, everybody says they we would say to all all the nice name, the nice ways to talk to God. I said I give the f up, f this, and I remember I heard a voice. I remember. I promise you, this is why I believe. I heard a voice say, "It's about time. I've been waiting for you to give up. I got someone. I just been waiting because you've been trying to do it on your own." That's why the Bible says, "Trust in the Lord with all thy heart, lean not to thy own understanding, and always acknowledge Him. He should direct your path." When it says, "Lean not to your own understanding," stop trying to do it. What the definition of that is? Stop trying to do it your way. I got someone for you. And all of the trials, all of the tribulations, all the hurt, all the pain, all the suffering that your dumb ass went through is going to be okay. Because this woman is going to come in your life, and you're not going to be in survival mode anymore. You're going to have a chance to let your guard down. You're going to have a chance to learn how to be a man because no one taught you how to be a man. But I'm going to give you some wiggle room to act like a man and to produce the person that you were meant to be. I should be in the pulpit screaming right now. That you were meant to be. And I'm going to make those feelings that are so intense in you, I'm going to magnify them so much that it's going to be so overwhelming when you touch her, when you feel her, when you kiss her, when you caress her, when you do nice things for her, when you say I love you, when you say I appreciate you, when you say I don't want no one else but you. And it will finally feel normal. You won't feel like a freak. You won't feel like a freak. Those intense feelings will be the norm for you from this day forward. Hello, somebody. And when I tell you that, boy, when I tell you that, and see, it makes you think like, hey, perfect person, perfect for me. Even though she get on my last nerve sometimes. She even say it. She'll be laughing on the phone. She'd be like, I can't stand you, and be laughing. Because that's what I said she knows right. And what it says is you can communicate, but see, there's also a red flag with that. In a positive soul tie, you can communicate better. And no. Even then, I ain't that stupid. Certain things you just keep to your daggone self. You know what I'm saying? I see some of hey, morning wellness from Fuga Mama. Hey, by the way, The New Year's coming up. Gonna have to have that resolution to lose some of that tonnage. Might as well start now. Coming up at 7 o'clock. Wellness for Frugal Mama. Hit the beat. God. Gotta hit that beat. Work off that tonnage. Hey, you got a month. Get ready. Get ready. Ready, Freddy. Oh, God. Guys, I thank y'all for coming in and being a part of my foolishness. If you get a chance, look it up. It's they say, and there's another level higher than a soul tie. I can barely handle a soul tie, so I don't want to get to the next level. You know what I'm saying? Oh Lord, please Jesus, I don't want to get to the next level. But when you're aware of what you're going through, it doesn't make it so hard. You know what I'm saying? When you're aware of what you're going through, it isn't as hard as you think. When you understand your situation, you can come up with a battle plan. Again, I'm just talking about my situation, my the stuff that I go through, and let you know, if you got someone that you're close to and you love and you're married and you're with, let them know when you get off this live. Let them know you appreciate them, even if they're still asleep. Kiss them on the forehead. Tomorrow's not promised to us. The next 5 minutes ain't promised to us. Enjoy that peace and learn from it. It's like that song. I've been on the battlefield for the Lord. I promised him that I would serve him till I die. You know, you've been on that battlefield for so long. You deserve to be happy every once in a while. You deserve to be appreciated every once in a while. I just happen to fall into these things, and like a goofy ass SOB that I am, I didn't realize it till it's later on. But I learned how to be happy. I learned how to enjoy. I learned how to, that thumbnail where you see my feet were killing me, but she loves to walk, and that's called the. I think we missed it this year. We got to check it next year though. It's coming up next year. It's called Color Vibe, where it's like a 5K, and they beat you up with um, you run through these stations and they pelt you with different colored stuff and whatnot. It's freaking hilarious. But you're actually exercising. You're actually exercising. That's the one thing, if they have one next year, man, I ask either, because it's down there in Stone Mountain. Ask Jay Jordan if he wants to, get a team together. It's like a team, it's really a group. And, all it is a 5K. You can walk, run, whatever. And you can actually buy the stuff and pelt each other with it. And you wear masks and so forth and so on. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, guys. I know y'all don't want to hear that. But it usually goes down in Stone Mountain, Georgia. And it's freaking hilarious. It's hilarious. And they have like these dance. It's like dance offs and Zumba and all that. They get on stage and and do all this stuff before and after, and it's really crazy. It's really crazy. But I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. I want to thank you guys for coming in. Check out Wellness with Frugal Mama next. Um, Anybody that comes in on the remix, let you know you're well appreciated. Thanks, guys, for coming by. You just don't know how much it means to me. It's always good to talk, flap off at the gum to at least somebody. Thanks to my moderators. Thanks for coming in, and if you found something helpful in this, hit the like button. If you didn't, hit it anyway. It don't cost you nothing. If you get a chance, don't run my playlist. Just watch a video. That helps. It helps a brother out tremendously. And as always, if you don't think no one loves you, know that I love you and God loves you too. Y'all have a blessed day and see you tomorrow. Deuces.